Hi, I'm Mrs. Schmidt from North Rockford Middle School, and I'm back with part 3 of sewing a fabric ball. So just a quick recap. In part 1, we gathered all of our supplies. We used this pattern piece and we cut 6 pieces of fabric. We are upcycling or using something old and turning it into something new. So my pieces come from a sweatshirt. You can use whatever fabrics you could find. After we cut our pieces, then we moved to part 2 where we started to do some sewing. We sewed 2 pieces of the fabric together, right sides together, and we just sewed down one side. And we started with 2 overcast stitches at the tip. We did the back stitch all the way around to the other tip where we did 2 more overcast stitches and tied a really good strong knot. We repeated that until we had 3 pairs sewn together. Now today we're going to continue, and our goal for part 3 is to connect these 3 pairs of fabric. So I'm going to start with 2, and I want to open it up so I can see the right side. The right side is the side that's going to show on the outside of the ball. From here I can't see my stitches, and I'm going to take the other one and then open it up the same way. So now I have both of the right sides facing upward. I'm going to take one and I'm going to flip it over. So now the right side is going down onto the right side of the other piece. They are right on top of each other. And I am going to get my pins and I'm going to pin them together just like we did when we were sewing the pairs. I'm going to put one pin here toward this end, about a 1/2 inch in from the edge, parallel or going along with the edge of the fabric. I'm going to line up my edges, come here into the middle and put a second pin. Come around to this other end and put in my 3rd pin. So I've already got my needle set up with 2 to 3 feet of thread with a good strong knot on the end. And from here, I'm going to do exactly the same thing we did with the pairs. I'm going to do the 2 overcast stitches on the end, back stitch all the way up, and 2 more overcast stitches on the other end. I'm going to make sure that we get the tips sewn together really well, otherwise we'll have a hole in the end of the ball. So there's my 2 overcast. I'm going to come up from the bottom and get started with my back stitch. Because it'll take me a little while to get all of that done, I am going to just get a couple stitches in here, and then I'm going to show you how to attach our 3rd pair. And like we did before, once you get done, go back, make sure there aren't any gaps. If so, just put a couple extra little stitches in there. All right, so I'm going to pretend that I sewed that whole side, and then I would open it up again so that the right side is facing up. From here, I can't see any of my stitches. They're all on the bottom touching the table. So now I have the right side facing up on the 4 pieces that are now all sewn together. I'm going to get my 3rd pair. I want to open it up so the right side is up, and I'm going to do it just like I did before. I'm going to flip that over. I'm going to lay it down so that the right sides are together, and then I'm going to pin. I'm going to pin one here at the top, line up all my edges, put another pin here in the middle, continue lining up my edges until I get to the bottom. Now that that is pinned together, you can go ahead and sew that the same way we've sewn all the other parts, with the 2 overcast on the tip. Do the back stitch all the way around the curve and end it with 2 more overcast stitches and a good strong knot. At this point, you should have all 6 sections sewn together, and you should be able to see the shape of the ball come together. Just one more to flip over. There we go. So you should be able to see that it's going to be round. You might notice here that some of the tips of your ball didn't come together quite like it should. If you notice that they're not connected right, go back in there and put a couple stitches there just to hold it all together. A couple overcast stitches would be good to keep that together. And that is the end of part 3. We have one last section to do. For that section, just to be prepared for that, your ball is going to need some kind of stuffing. If you happen to have a bag of stuffing, that works out just great. As far as I know, around here anyway, in Rockford, Michigan, we've been able to find that and still at our Meijer stores. If you don't have any or just don't want to have to go get any, for this one, what I used for stuffing was strips of a couple old t-shirts. They were t-shirts that had been thrown in a rag pile because they had some stains on them. I just cut them up into some small strips. They don't have to be even, they just had to be small little pieces. I cut up the t-shirts. It did take me 2 t-shirts to fill this ball. So that's what's inside here. And that, I kind of like that because it does give the ball a little more heft if you're gonna actually throw the ball around. It does make it a little bit heavier though. I would maybe not throw it around in the house. It probably weighs enough that you could knock over a vase or something like that. So whatever you want to stuff the ball with, make sure you have that for part 4.